that said, is he a slam dunk Hall of Famer too? I don't know. I wouldn't go that far. But his numbers, again, you look at some of his, he's way up there in a lot of second base offensive categories. So I won't be shocked if that committee puts it. That committee had a chance to put him in this time too, and they did.
Right.
So it's not a slam dunk to everybody, that's for sure. But I think he's got a pretty good chance. I do. If he can stay on that committee a couple more times, I would say he'll get in eventually.
Well, I'll say one thing though. At least the Detroit Tigers are.
Let me hear your case.
Well, before he does. I'm glad the Detroit Tigers are taking it upon themselves to retire his number this year, at least, anyways, hoping that maybe that will trigger some momentum for that to happen. I'm glad they're doing that.
Need somebody to get behind his case.
That'll be me. And I'll tell you why right now, Tony. 75.1 wins above replacement. He has more home runs at the position than Bobby Doerr of the Red Sox, who's in the Hall of Fame. Whitaker was also, if you have Alan Trammell in the Hall of Fame, a player whose Baseball Reference WAR is just above the average for Hall of Fame shortstops, and Whitaker is more than above the average for Hall of Fame second baseman. He's one of the 7 greatest second basemen of all time. And I want to ask you real quick about Rolen. We'll backtrack to him because I just wrote a piece that any of our listeners can find on the South Florida Tribune's website about why I think Rolen's case is a lot more justifiable than most think. The player that I think of the most when I think of Scott Rolen, when I think of the combination of defense and total assessed value, is Ron Santo. If anybody remembers, Ron Santo was a Veterans Committee electee right after he had passed away in 2010. It took a couple of years. Rolen never led the league in any category during his career. If you look at his Baseball Reference Black Ink, which is an indicator for league-leading statistics, he never did, but he was near the top in almost every category offensively for third baseman. And then you have to factor in that if Omar Vizquel is getting the traction he is when he was a feeble offensive player during his career, and I mean that wholeheartedly because Vizquel, the only way I think he gets into the Hall of Fame is if he buys a ticket. He doesn't belong, but he's getting 56% of the vote. Rolen getting 35% when he's a 70 WAR player, and he's over 300 home runs. He's got the defense, the metrics like him.
Right. He was a fantastic third baseman.
Yeah, I don't understand why, and maybe you can explain it to us, why some voters are just holding out on him when...
Well, you just kind of said it. He never led the league in anything. His teams never really won anything. Those are, that stuff matters to...
Yeah,
my generation of voters.
But then you look at the statistical case that can be made, and it's like he was just as good a defender as Vizquel. He's over 100 defensive runs saved. That's all-time elite defensive player right there. That's almost like Andrew Jones of third baseman. We know Andrew Jones is a great defensive center fielder. His case needs to build, and I'm glad he's getting the momentum, and I'm glad you make the argument for Helton, because me and Scott have said multiple times that he belongs. Nolan Arenado may be traded soon, and that could spur a debate about the Coors Field effect and what his career may look like after he leaves Colorado, because we know what his numbers look like there.
Yeah, he'll be the next test case, but if you look at his numbers, there's been at least a couple of his seasons where he's hit more homers on the road.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's not just a Coors Field hitter. He's not. Yes, he can hit 35, 40 homers, but he's just a good hitter.
And really the defense.
It's a ton of line drives. He hits balls hard all over the field. So, yeah, of course, Coors Field helps him. But like I say, people, the gain that you get from hitting the ball at altitude, like 9% distance further, is mitigated by the fences are so damn far in Coors Field.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's not the home runs. They never lead the league they don't lead the league in homers. They really don't. They lead in runs scored, doubles and triples and walks and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's not as much of a homer park as you think. It's a runs park. It's a doubles park. It's a triples park. That's where the numbers go off the charts, way off the charts.
Well, it's funny how you say that, Comerica Park.
He's great, and he's going to be great wherever he goes here. He is going to get traded, by the way. That is going to happen.
Yeah.
He's really him and the relationship between him and the GM is I think it's broken. So I would think, and since he can opt out anyway after 21, the Rockies have to trade him. It's going to be at far less value than what he's worth. But that's what's going to have to happen.
Well, You talk about Coors Field being a non-home run park. It almost reminds me that.
I didn't say that. I just said it's not the number one home run park.
Okay, gotcha. Misunderstood.
It's in the top 10.
Okay.
Top 5 maybe even, but it's not like this off the charts homer. Other places it's easier to hit homers. Cincinnati would be one off the top of my head. Milwaukee. Oh my God, Milwaukee. In Yankee Stadium, right field. It's
right.
ridiculous.
Misunderstood you there. However, Comerica Park is known for doubles and triples, and you spread the ball around as well, like Coors Field.
Yeah, because it's huge.
Right.
It's huge.
It's a pitcher's park.
Yeah.
Yeah. It scared Juan Gonzalez out of there. Hey, Juan Gonzalez had a chance to make a boatload of money and wanted to be traded. And the Tigers, he was a one and done in Detroit. So that'll be for another case.
Worst financial move ever. That was it.
What's that?
That was the worst financial move in baseball history.
yeah, I think so too.
Turned out, what was it? 10 200 or whatever.
Yeah. He turned out a lot of money. Mike Gillich.
Part of it was because he was getting a divorce and he didn't want the wife to get it. But yeah, that's a little side story for you.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so you brought up Alex Rodriguez, Tony. Now you've got me intrigued about this one. I don't want to get into a show about...
Him and Poppy come on the ballot the last year that Bonds and Clemens did there last year. It's 2 more seasons, 2 more votes from now.
Okay.
Yes, that's be quite the ballot.
So you brought up Bonds and Clemens. No show would be complete unless you talk about whether or not those two could get in. I have to ask you now, Tony, now that you brought up...
Yeah, they can get in. They're close. They're at 60, but, there's just a core of us who aren't going to change our minds on them. I mean,
right.
It's just how it is. Sorry.
So do Bonds and Clemens make it on the 10th ballot?
Everyone's bitching about the Astros cheating for 1 year of home games.
Right.
Bonds and Clemens and all the steroid users used them for years.
Mm-hmm.
Home and road. Sorry, I'm not caving.
Gotcha.
Bud Stewart was in the Hall of Fame, and he turned a blind eye to it, yada yada yada. But no, sorry, those guys got caught, and right now they're paying the price.
So, do Bonds and Clemens make it on their 10th year of eligibility?
Good question. Some people think they'll get the that last year vote. Some people will change their mind. Enough people will change their mind, and they'll get in.
Do they get in next year?
They haven't gained much in the last couple of years now. They've kind of leveled off in the low 60s, so it makes you wonder.
Yeah.
I don't know that the voting membership is going to change enough in these next couple of years where younger guys who don't seem to have a problem with the steroid era they're way more apt to vote for those two guys.
So do you think their best chances on the 10th year? I don't see them getting enough ground next year, though. I really don't.
Me neither.
I don't. I would say that in the 10th year, maybe there's some hardliners who will finally flip.
Okay.
Their best chance. I don't like their chance a whole lot if they get the committee, because some of the committee members they're either owners or they're people who are already in the Hall of Fame. The guys who are in the Hall of Fame want no part of those two.
Right. Yeah, Poppy I can see getting in, but now you brought up Alex Rodriguez, and we'll end it on this note, okay? Yeah, Alex Rodriguez.
There's a big difference between these two.
Yeah.
Poppy got one test that wasn't even supposed to go public.
Mm-hmm.
And he failed it, but that wasn't even supposed to be revealed to the. It was before testing. It was a year before testing.
Right.
A-Rod got caught not once but twice.
Right.
When there was testing, that's why he's worse than even Bonds and Clemens in my mind, because there was no testing when Bonds and Clemens played. So
all right.
It's a different thing.
Alex Rodriguez is a very likable individual. Do you think, and I don't know if he'll get a pass, but because he's a little bit more likability, do you think the writers might show just a tad flexibility or sympathy?
Who likes A-Rod?
I don't know.
Nobody likes A-Rod.
Okay.
Talking about no.
All right. No. Or at least he appears to be that way. I don't know. Maybe he shows a great facade on TV. I don't know.
Right.
That would be the perfect
maybe that's a facade on TV.
That's the perfect description, actually.
Yeah, facade. That's a great word.
Well, the word facade probably makes him look likable, but I don't. Yes. based on what you're telling me, I don't think Rodriguez has a puncher's chance either, does he?
Not in my mind.
Okay, well,
because like I said, he was caught during the testing year.
Right.
It's a different thing. It is different.
Right. Whereas, but
it's worse.
Okay, well then let's go back to Big Papi. Is he in or out?
Never caught.
Yeah.
He was never caught.
Okay.
So he's one of those. He's one of the gray area guys. And those the gray area guys are getting in. Piazza got in, Pudge got in, Bagwell got in, et cetera, et cetera. So, I would think Papi's going to get in. Yes.
Okay. Very good. All right. Well, Tony, I can't thank you enough for being on this edition of 108 Stitches Baseball Talk Around the Horn, and look forward to seeing you in just a matter of a few weeks. But, Tony, as always, I enjoy having you on, and Lewis probably appreciates you being on as well. And I look
My
forward.
pleasure, guys. It really is. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you very much, and you and I will talk soon. Have a good night, Tony, once again.
Okay.
Thank you, buddy. Thanks. Bye-bye.